2 naira 43 kobo per share, subject to regulatory approvals. B, that following the completion of the additional equity capital raise as contemplated in 9A above, the issued share capital of the bank be increased from 5,076,923,073 naira, divided into 10,153,846,154 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each, to 18,058,246,709 naira 50 kobo by the creation of up to 26,562,647,265 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. Such new shares to rank pari passu in all respects with the existing ordinary shares in the capital of the bank. That as a consequence thereof, Clause 6 of the Memorandum and Articles of Association of the bank shall be amended upon completion of the equity capital raise to reflect any new issued share capital as may be determined by the directors in their absolute discretion. D, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into any agreement and or execute any document necessary, appointing such professional parties and advisors, and to perform all such other acts and do all such other things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions, including without limitation, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. 10. To consider and, if thought fit, pass the following resolutions as a special resolution. A, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional capital of up to 100 billion naira by way through an offer by way of issuance of shares, whether by right issue and or public offer, global depository receipts, commercial papers, loans, convertibles or non-convertibles, medium-term notes, bonds, and or any other instrument, either as a standalone or by way of programs, in such tranches, series, or proportions, at such coupon or interest rates, within such maturity periods, and on such terms and conditions, including through book building process or such other process, all of which shall be as determined by the directors, subject to obtaining the approvals of relevant regulatory authorities. B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into any agreement and or execute any other documents necessary for and or incidental to effecting the resolutions above. C, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint such professional parties, enter into any agreement, execute any document necessary, and perform all such other acts, and do such other things as may be necessary for and or incidental to effecting the resolutions above, and without limitation complying with directives of any regulatory authority. Notes: 1. Attendance and voting by proxy. A member of the bank entitled to attend and vote at the annual general meeting is entitled to appoint a proxy to attend and vote instead of him or her. A proxy form is attached to this notice, and if it is to be valid for the purpose of this meeting, it must be completed, stamped, and deposited at the office of the bank's registrars, Africa Prudential PLC, at 220B Ikorodu Road, Pangrove, Lagos, or via email cxc@africaprudentialplc.com, not later than 48 hours before the meeting. Shareholders may nominate a director as a proxy. Note 2. Meeting link and online streaming of AGM. Further to Section 240 sub 2 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020 and Section 11 of the Business Facilitation Miscellaneous Provisions Act 2023. This AGM will be held virtually. The meeting will be live streamed at www.abbeymortgagebank.com/AGM and will also be available at the bank's website and other social media platforms for the benefit of shareholders. Closure of register. In compliance with Section 114 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, the register of members and transfer books of the bank will be closed from Wednesday, 13th May 2026 to Friday, 15th May 2026. Both dates inclusive for the purpose of updating the register. Dividend. The directors have recommended a dividend of 12 kobo for each 50 kobo share, which will be subject to the appropriate withholding tax. If the dividend is approved by the members at the AGM, payment will be made on Monday, 25th May 2026 to shareholders whose names appear in the bank's register of members as of close of business on Tuesday, 12th May 2026. E-dividend registration. Pursuant to the directive of the Securities and Exchange Commission, shareholders are kindly requested to update their records and advise Africa Prudential PLC of their updated records and account details for the payment of dividend. A detachable e-mandate form is attached to the annual report for convenience of shareholders. Unclaimed dividend payment. All shareholders are encouraged to complete an e-dividend mandate form to ensure that all outstanding dividends are paid electronically. A number of unclaimed dividends are still in custody of registrars. Any shareholder affected is advised to contact the bank's registrars, Africa Prudential PLC at 220B Ikorodu Road, Palm Grove, Lagos, or via email cxc@africaprudentialplc, africaprudential.com to lay claim. Nomination to the Audit Committee. In accordance with Section 404 sub 6 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, any member may nominate a shareholder as a member of the Audit Committee by giving notice in writing of such nomination to the Company Secretary of the bank at least 21 days before the annual general meeting. In view of the statutory requirement that some members of the committee should have basic financial literacy and be knowledgeable in internal control processes, nominations to the Statutory Audit Committee should be supported by the curriculum vitae of the nominees. 8. Right of shareholders to ask questions. Shareholders have a right to ask questions not only at meetings but also in writing prior to the meeting, and such questions must be submitted to the bank at least 48 hours before the meeting. Thank you, esteemed shareholders.
May I request that we take the following reports as read? 1. Chairman's statements as contained on pages 22 to 25 of the annual report. 2. The Managing Director CEO's statement, which also is displayed on pages 28 to 32 of the annual report. And 3. Director's report, shown on pages 34 to 38 of the annual report. Reports to be read. And I'm just going to take them one after the other. 1. I now call on the external auditors to read their reports, and then that will be followed by the Statutory Audit Committee's report to be presented. And lastly, that will be followed by the board appraiser's report that was conducted by the external assessor, in that order.
Good morning. Hello. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, directors here present, the regulatory representatives, and shareholders here present. My name is Tosin Labiodon. I'm a partner with PwC, and I'm here to present our independent auditor's report for Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC. Mr. Chairman, sir, if you permit me, I'll just read our opinion section as opposed to reading the entire report for the sake of time. Thank you. So our opinion. In our opinion, Abbey Mortgage Banks PLC's financial statements.
And you refer to the page you are reading so that the shareholders
Oh.
will be carried along. Please.
Okay, so I'm reading from page 66, and I'm re-emphasizing again. I'm just going to read our audit opinion as opposed to reading the entire report section. So our opinion. In our opinion, Abbey Mortgage Banks PLC's financial statements give a true and fair view of the financial position of the bank as at 31 December 2025 and of its financial performance and its cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with international financial reporting standards as issued by the International Accounting Standards Board and the requirements of the Companies and Allied Matters Act, the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, and the Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria as amended in 2023. That is our opinion. It is a clean opinion and not qualified. Thank you.
Thank you very much. PwC. Next. Statutory Audit Committee.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, the shareholders, the representative of the regulators. And, I'm reading from page 58. My name is Adekunle Ali. I'm the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee. I'm reading from page 58. In accordance with the provisions of section 404 subsection 4 of the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, we have reviewed the financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2025 as follows. We have exercised our statutory functions and powers as provided by the Articles of Association of the Bank and the Companies and Allied Matters Act 2020, and acknowledge the cooperation of the management and staff in the conduct of our responsibilities. We are of the opinion that the accounting and reporting policies of the bank are in accordance with legal requirements and agreed ethical practices, and that the scope of planning of both the external and internal audits for the year ended 31st December 2025 was satisfactory and complied with the bank's system and internal controls. We have reviewed the findings on management matters in conjunction with the external auditors and departmental responses thereon. As required by the provisions of the Central Bank of Nigeria Circular BSD/1/2004, dated 8 February 2004, on disclosures of insider-related credits in financial statements, we reviewed the insider-related credits of the bank and found them to be as analyzed in the financial statement as at 31st December 2025. I'm the chairman of the audit committees. My name is Adekunle Ali. Other members are Prince and Engineer Olaiwola Tobu, who is a shareholder as well. Mr. Gbadebo Ajayigbe is also a shareholder. Mrs. Adenike Kuti is a director, and Obina Ufudu is a director as well. The five of us make up the statutory audit committees. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that report. The banks are prisoners.
Members of the board. Mr. Chairman, good morning, sir. Members of the Board of Directors, regulators present, shareholders. This is a report of the independent external consultant on board evaluation of Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC for the year ended 31st December 2025. I'm reading from page 52. IOD Center for Corporate Governance was appointed to undertake an independent external evaluation of the Board of Directors of Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC for the year ended 31st December 2025, in line with the provisions of Section 2.8 of the Central Bank of Nigeria Corporate Governance Guidelines for Primary Mortgage Banks in Nigeria, and Principle 14.1 of the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, NCCG. The evaluation entailed a comprehensive review of the bank's corporate and statutory documents, the minutes of the board and committee meetings, policies currently in place, other ancillary documents made available to us, responses to board and peer review surveys administered to directors. We carried out the assessment focusing on 8 key themes, including the company secretariat and their subsets. These key areas are board structure and composition, strategy and planning, board functioning and effectiveness, monitoring, measuring, and reporting performance, assurance, which captures risk management, audit, internal controls and compliance, sustainability and good corporate citizenship, transparency and disclosure, and individual directors' assessments. These focus areas are all derived from the 28 principles relevant to board evaluation as contained in NCCG 2018 and other relevant statutes used for benchmarking. The bank has 5 committees, namely Board Audit and Compliance Committee, Credit and Risk Management Committee, Finance Operations and Information Technology Committee, Governance and Remuneration Committee, Ad hoc Committee on Conversion, and Statutory Audit Committee. The board committees efficiently support the board in its oversight responsibility of the bank's operations and compliance with the Nigerian Code of Corporate Governance 2018, the SEC Corporate Governance Guidelines, and the CBN Corporate Governance Guidelines 2023. The board of Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC demonstrates commitments to good corporate governance practices and compliance with relevant governance statutes. We have communicated the observed areas requiring improvement to the board of directors and are confident that the board will address these observations as the bank transitions into a regional commercial bank. Details of our findings and recommendations are contained in our report. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adekunle, the representatives of the Chartered Institute of Directors. Distinguished shareholders, it is indeed my privilege to lay before you the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2025 for your comments and observations. I will now invite, the shareholders to make comments, questions, observations on the AFS. Can I call on Mr. Adekunle first? Sorry, Mr. Adeleke, sorry. Good morning.
If you look at the front page of the annual report, shaping the future. Look at the agenda of the bank, the agenda of the meeting. You see that we are already looking forward to shape the future of the bank. Also, because we are focusing on innovation, looking at the agenda that we have for the meeting, the right issue, the rating of capital, etc. And for someone like us that have been with the bank for a long time, and looking at where we are coming from, I'm going to be happy to see that there is cause for celebration. One of the big banks in Nigeria is doing their AGM today, and they are able to pay dividends. Yeah, as small as we are actually going home with 12 kobo. I want to commend the board and management for the a good one. Also, sir, if you look at our 5 years financial summary of this bank, we have grown tremendously from where we are before to where we are today. The 5 year summary of the bank is impressive. Sir, I have few questions for us on the right issue. Sir, please let it come out on time and let the registrar work share with us so that we can get it on time. Also, sir, if you look at page 144 of the annual report, page 144, our workforce increased by 12%, and wages and salary reduced. What happens in terms of that? Because I believe since we have 12 more personnel employed in the company, the wages and salaries are supposed to go up than what we have last year. But if you look at it, the wages and salary still come down. The 12 persons that just joined us, are they working for free? Or did we reduce the salary of our staff? We would like to know. Also, sir, if you look at our results, our earning per share is 12 naira, 14 kobo. And we are paying 12 naira. And we are paying 12 kobo, sir. This is not encouraging. We need to plug back into the business. We are a growing bank, and we need a lot of money to do a lot of things. So we need to, at least we should have a good dividend policy that we strictly follow. That everybody on shout that we are aware of. So that is so important. Also, sir, I want to commend the two executive directors of the bank, Mr. Bolaji and Mr. Adioye. And the person that is joining us, I know is coming to add a lot of value to the bank. The bank is growing tremendously. There is one oil company, their office is at 2nd Avenue in Koyi. I was discussing with one of the executives, director at Abbey Mortgage Bank. He said the bank has come there to do presentation for them. Also, there is one insurance company at Lekki Phase 1 there. Their head office is at Lekki Phase 1. I was discussing with their company secretary about Abbey Mortgage Bank. He told me that they have already opened accounts with them and they are already banking with you. So it shows that in our own little way, we are penetrating into the market. And I pray that the good God will see us through and give us the knowledge and the wisdom of it takes to take this bank to the greater heights. We are focused, we are watching you and we are focusing on you because I just have passion for the board and management of this bank. And I pray that the capital, the new capital that we are about to raise, God will see us through and everything will work in our favor. Thank you so much. Let me give others the privilege to also make their comment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adeleke. I think we can have more comments from the shareholders. May I call on Mr. Adebayo Williams? Mr. Adebayo Williams. Leon. Is he muted? Please, can you unmute? Can you check? Okay. While we're waiting for him, may I call on Dosumu Fadekemi.
This is William Adebayo. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Can you hear
So
me?
Mr. Adebayo is on now.
Adebayo is on now.
So okay.
Aha.
Please proceed.
Mr. Chairman,
Please proceed.
today is a great day in the history of our company because of the dividend that you have been able to eke out for us. And considering the fact that since this VFD bought the majority share of this company, we know that definitely things will change because they are a group that cherished excellence and success. Mr. Chairman, today I want to tell you that all the resolution will be taken and voted and supported. Mr. Chairman, also I want to use this opportunity to thank all our directors who have worked assiduously and all the management staff who have also worked very well to eke out this dividend. We know where we have been coming from. For many years before this VDF took over with the procurement of the majority shareholder, we are not giving anything. But today we are happy. We are happy. 12 kobo is a big deal of money. Like the first speaker mentioned, some banks cannot even pay 5 kobo. Some are not even paying anything. Who are commercial banks who cannot pay anything. But for people who have large volumes, that 12 kobo will go a long way to make their life better. We are happy, and we also pray that God in His infinite mercy will continue to strengthen our director to take us to the greater height that we all desire. Mr. Chairman, today also too, we should look for ways to increase our working capital because we are intending to go into normal commercial banking, our original bank. Money is needed. Is the amount that we look into will it be enough for us to compete effectively as a regional banker? Because there is great competition there. We need every money to compete. And today also we want to empower our directors to do all necessary duties to look for more capital, either by way of debentures, private placement, to make us to be competitive enough with other regional bankers, because we are stepping higher into another level. Mr. Chairman, too, I want to use this opportunity to thank you too, because as shareholders, your tenure has been very productive. Your tenure has been very productive and proactive. I pray that God in His infinite mercy will bless all our directors and our management staff and we shareholders too. I also pray that God will give us the long life and good health to enjoy the fruit of our labor, which is a return on our investment. These and many other more, I pray that God will endow us with abundantly. Thank you for the opportunity given. The name is William Adebayo. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. William.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Mr.
you.
William.
God bless. Okay, may I call on Mrs. Dosumu Fadekemi? Do we have her on the platform? Okay. We'll take these three. Or we'll take all of them.
I want to congratulate our bank. We have really done well. I want to congratulate the chairman and the board. We have really done extremely well. And I want to join others in congratulating you on the award we won during the year. And I pray our bank will continue to move forward to a greater height. I join others to thank the bank for giving us 12 kobo
from six naira you are giving us last year. I pray we continue to move to a greater height. So at the same time, I want to raise a question. What factor drove the decision to double the dividend payout to 12 kobo per share? And how does this align with the bank long-term capital adequate ratio? That is my question. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
It's a lady. Okay. Huh? It's a man. Okay. May I call on Mr. Lambert Igbokwe? Mr. Lambert?
The Lambert.
We're waiting for you.
And the team worker for all the effort they have been doing to make our bank to increase both the dividends. And we bank now, we are telling the bank that they should work hard. They can also divert to another sector so that they can get more money, because you cannot continue going on one divert to any other side so that they can encourage the workers and encourage the shareholders. So we thank you for the dividend you pay, and we thank you that we are expecting more, that by next year our dividends will increase and our company now will rise more. They have tried very well, because some of the company cannot even pay dividends, even the other bank that are greater than the Abbey Bank. And we know that this company, this year tenure is very good, because you have been doing all good work for us. We pray that our company will never go down, and all the activities you have been doing this year is good. And we are all here now to encourage you. You can even make opportunity for the right issue, because we shareholder, we are ready to buy more so that their capital money can also, they have more money by issuing right issue. And by doing all these things, so you can also give us by encouraging the shareholder by giving us a bonus too. We are also expecting you. Thank you for opportunity given. My name remains Lambert Ibokwe.
Thank you, Mr. Lambert. Distinguished shareholders, at this juncture, maybe we should pause and then maybe provide answers or clarifications to some of the questions that are arising. I will call on the MD, CEO, to provide some of these answers. But before he does, let me also just, provide some, little bit of clarifications in terms of some of the questions that have been asked by our shareholders. I want to thank those 4 gentlemen shareholders for the various, commendations and the appreciation they've shown, both to the board and to the management. I want to assure our shareholders that we at the board, working with the management, are determined to ensure that the interests of the shareholders and indeed the bank is always at the very top of our minds. We will continue to challenge the management to do more. And I can assure you that we are actually pursuing very aggressively, our conversion. And I want to believe, by the grace of God and with the support of the shareholders, that we will anchor that project very, very soon. And I can assure you that by the time we are meeting next year, by the grace of God, we will be talking about Abbey PSC as a commercial bank with a regional origination, with regional authorization. Let me just, some of the questions. Mr. Deleke wanted us to expedite our actions on the rights issue. I can assure you that part of why we're here today is to actually pass those resolutions so that we can move quickly on the rights issue. I'm sure you're aware that the documentation for the rights issue is almost ready. It's just for us to get the nod, and then we put that in motion. We will have, excuse me. Yeah, we will do it through private placement, and we have our financial advisors that we have appointed who is working with us. So I assure you that that will be concluded very, very soon. On the issue of probably the workforce, an increase in the wages, you see, we have a board and management that's very proactive. We knew we're going to get the license as soon as we get the approval in principle for us to convert. We then started to look at strategic hires we need to make in order for us to play very actively in the commercial banking arena. So if you see some of our wages a little bit, increased from where we were last year, that's due to those strategic hires we have. And the result of it is actually one of them here, John Okoko. And I can tell you that since he assumed office, he has done a tremendous work on an operations, on the finance, on the IT, and on the risk, so that we are ready to move on day one once that license is secured. If somebody asked a question, there is no correlation between the earnings per share and the dividend payout. It's actually, we're trying to be very conservative. We want to save the money for the future of the bank. We are aware of the issues in the industry. Well, and we believe in rewarding the shareholders appropriately. I mean, that's why we probably did 100% increase in terms of our payout. However, like one gentleman also asked, we need to balance that with our capital buffers, because you don't want to pay everything out and not have sufficient capital to be able to do your business. And we also need to address the potential risks that we're going to be facing, especially when we move from a mortgage business to a commercial banking regime that requires a more robust capital. So it's a balancing act. But then payout is just one of the rewarding system for any shareholder. In terms of also shareholder compensation, look at the capital appreciation in terms of the trading activities that is taking place in the exchange market. So there are capital gains that anybody that really wanted to sell the shares, and I'm sure many people are not willing to sell now because of the belief in the future of this bank. So and you can only measure that by the liquidity, the strength of the liquidity in that market, especially when trading, when your shares are being traded. So it is. I want our shareholders to please bear with us, even though the 12 cover may not, look too big, but it is intentional that we try to moderate our payout appetite in order for us to be able to reap, future dividends, as we move on. I will just leave the MD to, answer some of those questions that are yet to be answered.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Once again, we, on behalf of the management, want to extend our gratitude to our esteemed shareholders and for the support which we've enjoyed over the years, not just within this management, but the management that handed over to us, which we're also part of. So it's an opportunity to also say a big thank you. For the shareholders that ask questions, Mr. Adeleke, Mr. Adebayo Williams, Mrs. Dozumu Fadekemi, and Mr. Lambert, excellent question. For most of the questions that were asked, the chairman had already provided clarification. But I will just batch it into three and also just further reinforce what the chairman had, the responses the chairman had provided. Issues on capital, reward for shareholders, and staff optimization. For the capital, we hear the concerns of the need to expedite the process of the private placement so that we can raise the required capital and be able to finalize the conversion. But also, as one of the speakers mentioned, is that there is the need for reinforcement of working capital, especially for the phase in which we are proceeding to. We've taken that feedback, and we commit that immediately after this AGM, and on receiving all the regulatory notes that is required, we would expedite to close that, and we'll put a process in place to also ensure that those capital are adequately deployed to the benefit of the bank. On rewards to shareholders, thank you for the feedback and thank you for the commendation. There was a particular question on why we had to double dividend, even though we are raising capital. One of the focal points of the current board is to ensure that at every particular point in time, shareholders are well compensated. But we also bear in mind the need to also ensure that as you are compensating shareholders, you are providing enough buffer, to be able to absorb any exposure, and which is also ensuring that as you compensate shareholders, you continue to build up your shareholders' funds, which ultimately also belongs to the shareholders. We don't take that responsibility for granted, and that has consistently driven the dividend policy. But we also recognize that the fact that we needed to adequately compensate the shareholders and the performance of the business has improved over the years. And that was what necessitated the doubling of the dividend that was received this year. I want to implore our esteemed shareholders to stay with us on this journey. This transformation journey has taken about 6 years. And I think for the past 3-4 years, we've consistently paid dividend. We commit that the benefits that will come in coming years will far supersede what you've received thus far. On staff, which is staff optimization, one of the speakers noted that there has been an increase in number of shares, but there was a drop in the cost of employment. Mr. Chairman has spoken very well about the plans for the bank. As you look to convert, you need to reinforce, right? And reinforce means going to the market to recruit additional hands that would provide the expertise that the bank doesn't have at this moment. But we're also conscious to say that in as much as we are recruiting, right, we don't want our costs to be overly bloated. So we've been able to manage that process where we are balancing between incoming staff and people going on retirement, and also putting into focus the costs at which you are attracting the new staff. So even though you are seeing increase in numbers as regards to headcount, you've seen a slight drop. You've seen a slight drop in the total employee cost. And what what we've been able to achieve with that is just due to the strategy deployed to ensure the right talents are gotten in, but are gotten in at the right price without unnecessarily causing a disbalance to the cost of employment. We thank you. We thank you for the support, and we look forward to the continued support as we proceed into the next phase for the bank. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MD. Thank you. Okay. So I'm told that we don't have comments or questions coming from our distinguished shareholders. So we will then move to the next item on the agenda. And these are resolutions that we need to pass for the purpose of this meeting. So in view of the fact that this meeting is virtual, all resolutions for consideration at this meeting will be taken by poll and electronic voting. The registrars will guide the meeting on the voting procedure. I now call the registrar to please explain the process for us for the benefit of our shareholders and those of us that are physically present here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Esteemed directors, regulators present, distinguished shareholders, I will now proceed. I will now proceed to explain the procedure for the votes. Prior to this meeting, we have received and captured details of 81 shareholders and proxy, and holding a total of 8,236,810,644 units of shares of Abbey Mortgage Bank PLC, which represents 81.12% of the company's issued share capital. At this meeting, we will be collating the votes cast in addition to the proxies received to get the final voting results. Distinguished shareholders, you have received a token, a personalized token, either via email or SMS. Kindly log on using the voting link, impute the token you have received to launch the app and the voting pages, or refresh your screen if you have already logged in before now. Once we commence the voting section, the resolution under consideration will be displayed. Kindly vote for if you are in favor of the resolution, or against if you are against the resolution. Note that you can change your voting decisions within the voting section. The last selected votes will be recorded as your final votes. The period of voting will last for only 60 seconds. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Frank. Audited financial statement for 2025. I now move that the audited financial statements for the year ended 31st December 2025, together with the reports of the directors, auditors, the audit committee, and the board appraisers, thereon be received and adopted. Can somebody please second this motion?
Second. Aye.
Please, your name.
My name is Morgan Sagi Kolibodala, and I'm seconding the motion, please.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote. Frank.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your vote in line with your voting decision. Please go ahead and exercise your voting rights. Press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution and against if you're against the resolution. We have about 45 seconds left more. We have about 30 seconds more. Please proceed and cast your votes. Press 4 if you are voting in favor, or you press against if you're against the resolution. About 10 more seconds to go. And the voting has ended. Distinguished shareholders, I will now proceed to announce the results. For this resolution, we have please project the results. Technical team, kindly project the results. Thank you. Please, can you make it more eligible? Thank you. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to approve the financial statement of account for the year ended 31st December 2025, a total of 8,237,554,445 units of shares voted in favor of the resolution. Only one shareholder with 85 units of shares, representing 0.00%, voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, our registrars. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I hereby declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution number 2, declaration of dividend. I hereby move that the total sum of 1,218,461,538 naira 48 kobo be paid as dividend at the rate of 12 kobo per each 50 kobo share to shareholders whose names appear in the register of members as at 12 May 2026 for the financial year ended 31st December 2025. Will somebody please second the motion?
My name is
Mr. Chairman, Oluboso Ario has been I second that motion. Oluboso Ario. I second that motion. Hello, Mr.
Please.
Chairman.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes. Oluboso Ario is name. Thank you, sir.
Ario. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Ario.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ario.
I now put the motion to the meeting. I call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes. Kindly proceed to cast your votes. Please press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution,
This re-election
and
thing
press
completely
against
all of
if
them
you're
at the
against
same
the
time.
resolution.
This
We have
re-election-
45 more
we cannot
seconds to
take
go.
them all at the same time.
Do we need to take each one, or we can take each one of them?
No, we cannot. If-
Because of the
30 more seconds to go. Please cast your votes.
Okay, I know.
Fifteen more seconds to go. Distinguished shareholders. The vote is about to end, and the vote has ended. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to approve a dividend, we have a total of 8,237,648,246 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast, and 1,500 units of shares, representing 0.00% of shares, voting against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution number 3, re-election and election of directors. We have 3 of them. I was actually discussing whether we can take it by one single vote, but I said that may not be possible. I was actually looking for a way of saving time. Okay. So the third resolution is the election, re-election of the following directors whose profiles are contained on pages 47 and 48 of our annual report. The first on the list is Ms. Chika Ochonogo. I move that Ms. Chika Ochonogo, a returning director by rotation, who is eligible for re-election and has offered herself for re-election, be re-elected as a non-executive director. Will someone kindly second the motion?
I second the motion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Abbott. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, you can now proceed to cast your votes in line with your voting decision. The resolution to re-elect Ms. Chika Ochonogo as a non-executive director. Please press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution. Press against if you're against the resolution. We have about 40 seconds more left in this exercise. We have like 30 more seconds. Kindly proceed to vote in line with your decision. We are gradually getting to the end of the vote. We have 10 more seconds left in this exercise. distinguished shareholders, the voting exercise for this session has come to an end. I will now proceed to announce the results. For the resolution to re-elect Ms. Chika Ochonogo, we have 8,237,548,100 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast, and we have a no vote against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Based on the result announced by the registrars, I hereby declare that Ms. Chika Ochonogo has been re-elected. Ms. Joel Okechime. I hereby move that Ms. Joel Okechime, a retiring director by rotation who is eligible for re-election and who has offered herself for re-election, be re-elected as a non-executive director. Will a shareholder please move the motion and second that motion?
My name is Lawal Oluwakim. I do second the motion.
Thank you, Mr.
My name is
Lawal.
Lawal Oluwakim.
Thank you. Thank you,
I
Mr.
do second
Lawal.
the motion. Thank you.
I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the result of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes for the re-election of Ms. Joel Okwechime as a non-executive director of the company. We have 45 more seconds remaining in this session. Kindly proceed to cast your votes. Press 4 if you are for the resolution, and press against if you're against the resolution. Twenty more seconds left. We're gradually coming to the end of this section. 5 more seconds. And the voting has come to an end. Distinguished shareholders, for the resolution to re-elect Ms. Joel Okwechime as a non-executive director of the company, we had 6,335,812,866 units of shares voted in favor of this resolution, about 74%. And we had 1,901,853,370 units of shares voted against the resolution, about 21%. And that is the result, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrar, I hereby declare that Ms. Joel Okechime has been re-elected, and that motion has been carried. I hereby move that Mr. John Okonkwo be elected as a director. Will someone please second the motion?
I second Banji Olugbosun.
Thank you very much.
Banji Olugbosun, I second.
Thank you, Banji. Thank you so much. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results
Thank you,
thereafter.
Mr. Chairman. For this resolution to elect Mr. John Okonkwo as a director of the company, kindly proceed to cast your votes, distinguished shareholders. Kindly proceed to cast your votes in line with your voting decision. We have about 45 seconds left in this session. Please press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution. You press against if you are against the resolution. 30 more seconds left. We are gradually getting to the end of the process. 20 more seconds. 15. 10. 5 more seconds to go. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. And I'll proceed to announce the results. We had 8,237,585,040 units of shares, approximately 100% voted in favor of this resolution. We had 3,031 units of shares, representing 0.00% voting against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. John Okonkwo was very popular with our shareholders. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I hereby declare that Mr. John Okonkwo be elected as a director of our bank. And that motion was almost 100% carried. Thank you very much. Resolution number 4. It is a requirement by law that we need to seek the shareholders' approval for the directors to be able to fix the remuneration of the external auditors for the year 2026 financial year. So that's the next motion we want to put forward to the shareholders. I therefore move that the directors be and I hereby authorized to fix the remuneration and expenses of the auditors for the year ended 31st December 2026, and the external auditors remain the PwC. So can I call a shareholder to please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Lawal Oluwa. I do second the motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Lawal. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution to fix remuneration for auditors, the voting has started. Kindly proceed and cast your vote in favor if you're in favor of the resolution. You can vote against if you're against the resolution. 50 seconds gone. More. I have like 45 more seconds. Kindly proceed and cast your votes. I have like 30 more seconds left in this exercise. $20 more seconds to go. About 15 more seconds. Five more to go. 3, 2, 1. And the voting has come to an end. Technical, kindly display the results. For the resolution to fix the auditor's remuneration, we had 8,237,548,671 units of shares, representing about 100% of the vote cast in favor, and we had 1,500 units representing 0.00% cast against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you, shareholders, for trusting the directors on this assignment. Based on the result announced by the registrar, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution number 4 is actually a disclosure requirement, which does not require any voting. Section 23A of CAMA 2020 requires the disclosure of the remuneration of managers to the shareholders at the annual general meeting. This is contained on page 137 of the annual report. So the manager's remuneration has been adequately disclosed as required by law on page 137 of the annual report. Resolution 6, election of members of audit committee. In consonance with the provisions of section 403, subsection 3 of the CAMA 2020, the committees shall comprise 1, 2 non-executive directors and 3 representatives of the shareholders. In this regard, the directors nominated to represent the board on the committee are 1, Mr. Ubina Fudo, and 2, Brigadier General John Obasa, retired. Valid nominations received for the shareholders' representatives are 1, Mr. Adekunle Ali, who has always been the chairman of the Statutory Audit Committee, Mr. Gbadebo Ajegbe, and Engineer M.O.T. Tobo. In the absence of any other nominations from the shareholders, I now propose that the following persons shall constitute the Statutory Audit Committee of the company for the year ending 31st December 2026. 1, Adekunle Ali. 2, Gbadebo Ajegbe. 3, M.O.T. Tobo. 4, Ubina Mfudo. 3, Brigadier General John Obasa, retired. Can somebody please second the motion?
I second the motion. Banji Olubosu.
Mr. Aji. Banji. Oh, Banji, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hereby declare that the motion has been duly carried. We now move to the special resolutions, which is the special business of the day. The director's remuneration, because I'm a beneficiary, I think it is appropriate that I step back and allow somebody to conduct the business of this particular resolution, to at least to avoid any conflict of interest. Yes, and I call on Dipo Adeoye. Could you please step in and do justice to this resolution?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, I hereby move that the remuneration of the non-executive directors until further notice be and is hereby fixed at A, Chairman, 30 million naira per annum, B, non-executive directors, 20 million naira per annum for the year ending 31st December 2026. Such payment to be effective from 1st June 2026. Would somebody please second the motion?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Lawal Oluwa. I do second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Lawal. Thank you. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Acting Chairman. For this resolution to fix the remuneration of the non-executive directors, dear shareholders, you can proceed to cast your votes in line with your voting decisions. Please vote for if you are in favor of the resolution, and you press against if you're against the resolution. We have like 40 seconds left in this exercise. About 30 more seconds left. Kindly proceed to vote. We have 15 more seconds to go. Five more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. For this resolution to approve the remuneration of the non-executive directors, we have 85 shareholders voted with 8,236,829,404 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast in favor of the resolution. There was no vote against. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Deepo. May I, on behalf of my director colleagues, I'd like to thank our shareholders for the trust and confidence you've reposed in us. I can assure you that this will spur us to do more, and we will ensure that we do not let you down. Resolution item 8A, additional capital. I hereby move that, subject to the receipt of any required regulatory approvals and pursuant to Article 95 of the Bank's Articles of Association, the directors be and are hereby authorized to establish a debt issuance program, which is called the program, in an amount of up to 100 billion naira or such foreign currency equivalent thereof as the directors may consider appropriate for the purpose of issuing debt securities to include senior unsecured or secured, subordinated, convertible, preferred, equity-linked, or such other forms of debt obligations in tranches of such amounts and at such dates, coupon, or interest rates, and upon such terms and conditions. Will somebody kindly please second this important motion?
I so second, sir. Adike to Sumu Pereira.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for this resolution 8A to raise a capital of 100 billion in debt issuance program. Dear shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes in line with your voting decisions. Please press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution. You can press against if you are against the resolution. We have 30 seconds left in this exercise. Kindly proceed to vote. You are gradually getting to the end of the exercise. We have 12 more seconds left. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. And I'll proceed to announce the results for this resolution to raise additional capital through debt issuance. We have 98 shareholders voted in favor with 8,237,400,569 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast in favor of the resolution. There was no vote against, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. 8B, Resolution 8B. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into and execute all such agreements, deeds, notices, and documents as may be necessary for or incidental to the bank's 100 billion naira program, and the directors are also authorized to appoint all such professional parties necessary for or incidental to the actualization of the program, including, without limitation, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. Will somebody please second the motion?
My name is Morgan. I second Morgan Koligodala. I second the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results thereof.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, for this resolution, kindly proceed to cast your vote. Press 4 if you're in favor, and press against if you're against the resolution. Please proceed to cast your votes. We have like 40 more seconds left in this exercise. Please proceed. 30 more seconds left. Distinguished shareholders, 15 more seconds left. Kindly proceed. Cast your votes. Press 4 if you're in favor. Press the red button if you're against the resolution. And the voting has come to an end. Distinguished shareholders, I'll proceed to announce the results. That 96 shareholders representing 8,236,802,899 units of shares, representing 100% votes cast in favor of the resolution. There was no vote against the resolution, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the result announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution 9A. I hereby move that the directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional equity capital of up to 64,547,232,853 naira 95 kobo by way of private placements of 26,562,647,265 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each at 2.43 naira per share, subject to regulatory approvals. Can I have one of the shareholders to please second the motion?
Good afternoon, sir. My chairman, my name is Prince Adewale Yoruba. I second the motion.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results of the vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes to approve the increase in share capital by way of private placement. Please press for if you are in favor of the resolution, and you press against if you're against the resolution. We have 40 seconds more left in the exercise. But 25 more seconds left. 20. 15 seconds. 10 more seconds to go. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. I'll proceed to announce the results. For this resolution, we have 8,236,832 units, 832,028 units of shares. I hope I got that correct. Representing about 100% of the vote cast. We have 522,179 units of shares that voted against the resolution, representing about 0.001%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution 9B, that following the completion of the additional equity capital raise as contemplated in clause 9A above, the issued share capital of the bank be increased from 5,076,923,077 naira divided into 10,153,846,154 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each to 18,358,246,709 naira 50 kobo. B, by the creation of up to 26,562,647,265 ordinary shares of 50 kobo each. Such new shares to rank pari passu in all respects with the existing ordinary shares in the capital of the bank. Will somebody please second the motion?
Second the motion. Engineer Bino Shabas, second the motion. Engineer Bino Shabas, second the motion.
Okay, Engineer Saraba.
Engineer Bino Shabas, second the motion.
Thank you, Engineer Saraba. Thank you very much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I'll now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes in line with your voting decision. Press for if you are in favor of the resolution. You press against if you are against the resolution. We have 40 more seconds left in this exercise. Thirty more seconds left. Kindly proceed to cast your votes. We still have 20 more seconds left in this exercise. 15 more seconds left. 10, 5, 3. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end, and I'll proceed to announce the results. We have 86 shareholders who voted in favor of the resolution with 8,236,960,924 units of shares, representing about 99.99% of the vote cast in favor. There was 500,179 units of shares, representing 0.001% cast in against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution 9C. That as a consequence thereof, Clause 6 of the Memorandum of Association of the Bank shall be amended upon completion of the equity capital raise to reflect any new issued share capital as may be determined by the directors in their absolute discretion. Can a shareholder kindly second the motion?
I told you, Mr. Chairman, Olugbosun Ario is the name, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ario. Thank you so much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the result.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution 9C, distinguished shareholders, the voting has commenced. Kindly proceed to cast your votes. Press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution. You press against if you're against this resolution. Please proceed to vote. You have the freedom to change your votes within the 60 seconds exercise. We have about 20 more seconds left in this particular exercise. 15 more seconds left. 10. 5 more seconds left. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. The result is as follows: 8,236,897,790 units of shares, representing 100% of the vote cast in favor of the resolution. There was no vote against this resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution 9D. That directors be and are hereby authorized to enter into any agreement and or execute any document necessary, appoint such professional parties and advisors, and to perform all such other acts and do all such other things as may be necessary to give effect to the above resolutions, including, without limitations, complying with the directives of any regulatory authority. Can I call on one of the distinguished shareholders to please second this motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Lawal Oluwa Akim. I do second the motion.
Thank you, Lawa. Thank you so much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the result.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution 9D, distinguished shareholders, the voting has commenced. Kindly proceed to cast your votes in favor or against. Press 4 if you are in favor of the resolution. You can press against if you are against this resolution. Please cast your votes.
In the process, keep us waiting.
Cast your votes, please. Well, just a few more seconds left, and the voting has actually come to an end. And we have a total of 8,237,520,760 units of shares, representing 100% of the votes cast in favor. There was one vote of 2,775 units of shares that voted against, representing 0.00%. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Frank. Based on the result announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Resolution 10A, that directors be and are hereby authorized to raise additional capital of up to 100 billion naira through an offer by way of issuance of shares, whether by rights issue and or public offer, global depository receipts, commercial papers, loans, convertibles or non-convertibles, medium-term notes, bonds, and or any other instruments, either as a standalone or by way of programs, in such tranches, series, or proportions, at such coupon or interest rates, within such maturity periods, and on such terms and conditions, including through book building process or such other processes, all of which shall be as determined by the directors, subject to obtaining the approvals of relevant regulatory authorities. Would somebody please second the motion?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Tariwali Ukiluga. I second that motion. Mr. Tariwali Ukiluga, I second that motion.
Thank you so much, Mr. Adewale. Thank you. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolution number 10C, distinguished shareholders, the voting has commenced. The voting has commenced. Kindly proceed to cast your votes in favor. If you are voting against, you press 4. If you are voting against, you press against. Please proceed. The voting is in progress. Technical, you can display the timer. We have about 15 more seconds left in this resolution. 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. Distinguished shareholders, the voting has come to an end. For this resolution, we had 8,237,033,748 units of shares, representing 99.99% voted in favor of the resolution. 2 shareholders with 505,179 units of shares voted against the resolution. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Frank. Based on the result announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. The last of the resolutions, 10B, that the directors be and are hereby authorized to appoint such professional parties, enter into any agreement, execute any document necessary, and perform all such other acts, and do all such other things as may be necessary for and or incidental to effecting the resolutions above, and without limitation, complying with directives of any regulatory authority. May I, distinguished shareholders, call on one of us to please second the important motion. Thank you, Engineer Sarafa. Thank you so much. I now put the motion to the meeting. I now call on the registrars to conduct the voting and announce the results.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For the resolution 10B, the voting has commenced. Distinguished shareholders, kindly proceed to cast your votes. Vote for if you are in favor of the resolution, and press against if you are against this resolution. The voting is already in progress, please. Please cast your vote for or against. For the last resolution on the agenda, 10B, please. Distinguished shareholders, please proceed to vote. Technically, think I will see the timer. How many more seconds do we have? Technical team, we are waiting, please. I'm sure the 60 seconds is gone. Can we see the results? Thank you. For this resolution 10B, we had total of 88 shareholders voted in favor of the resolution with 8,236,895,405 units of shares in favor of the resolution. There was no vote against the resolution, Mr. Chairman. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Frank, for an excellent job. Based on the results announced by the registrars, I declare that the motion has been carried. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the closure of the business of the day. I think it's been a wonderful and very productive meeting we've had. And I want to, in particular, express a profound gratitude, to all of you, especially our distinguished shareholders that attended this meeting virtually. We really appreciate the way you conduct yourselves and the way and manner in which the questions were asked and the favorable comments that you actually displayed in terms of the commendation that you gave to the management. We assure you that we will continue to ensure that the business of the bank is run in a very safe and sound manner. And your interests as shareholders will always be protected. And I want to in particular thank the regulators, the representatives of our regulatory bodies that are here, especially Chinwe from NDIC, that has been with us, since the beginning of this meeting and waited patiently. I really thank you. And I thank Frank for doing a wonderful job. And of course, members of our audit committee, and then my distinguished colleagues on this side of the table. Thank you so much. By the grace of God, we all meet next year, and I can assure you that we'll then be talking as a bank, not as a mortgage, not as a mortgage bank, by the grace of God. So, can I then call on shareholder to please close with a closing prayer for us? Maybe we can have a Muslim shareholder to help us with a closing prayer. A shareholder who is a Muslim. Can I call on Odunuga Samia to please give us a closing prayer? Leon? Huh? Okay. Is he on?
Mr. Chairman, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. I give thanks to Almighty Allah who made it possible for us to hold our meeting today. And we are rounding up this meeting today. I pray by the time we meet next year, our country should continue to grow from strength to strength, be able to happy and get a robust dividend. I also been living in the shop. Amen.
Amen. Can we please rise for the national item?
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request.
Thank you, and God bless.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Turn the record over, let the needle slide. There's nowhere else I'd rather hide. Just this small room and the city view, and the magic of being here with you. We don't need a party, we don't need a crowd. Everything we feel is crying out aloud. In the silence of a Saturday night, everything is feeling finally right. Dancing slow under dim apartment lights, making up for all those lonely nights. Just the rhythm of your heart and mine, taking our sweet, sweet time. The tea is cold, but the spirit is high. I see a million stars in your eye. Let the world go spinning on its way. We've got everything we need to stay. Dancing slow under dim apartment